Johnny just ate one. That's gross. Okay, give it up, everyone, for Jonathan Clark.
All right, let's see if this thing is on. Okay, timer. Can I start? Can I go ahead of the timer? Okay, so I thought it was really, really important to give some foundational knowledge to what the Sermon on the Mount is and why it's particularly important for our lives as Christians. So whether we attend church or not, many of us have heard the phrase, the Sermon on the Mount. So what is it and why is it important? If we break it down, we've got the word sermon, we've got the word mount, okay? So the definition of sermon is literally a talk on a religious or a moral subject, especially one given during a religious service, and particularly something that is from the Bible, okay? So Matthew 5:1 says that when Jesus saw the crowds, he went up the mountainside and sat down. So we can draw from this conclusion that quite simply a message by Jesus was delivered from the side of the mountain. So why is the message important? We know that it's one of the first recorded teachings by Jesus. If we rewind and gain a little bit of understanding about where we are in Jesus' timeline, Matthew 3 indicates that Jesus has just been baptized by John. In chapter 4, we have Jesus in the wilderness being tempted by the devil. And in verse 13 of chapter 4, Jesus leaves Nazareth to go live in Capernaum, where he calls Simon and Andrew to become fishers of men, and soon after James and John to be disciples. So at the end of Matthew chapter 4, it says that Jesus' ministry is growing, news is spreading, he's teaching, he's proclaiming the good news of the kingdom, he's continually healing the sick and the demon-possessed, and that large crowds are following him. I just lost my spot. That's horrible. According to Bible timelines, Jesus calls Matthew the tax collector at around the same time that Jesus preaches the Sermon on the Mount. Remember, he's the one we're reading right now, okay? So imagine with me the energy surrounding all of these events. It's like the most viral thing ever. The long-awaited Messiah is finally here and within reach. Like we can actually literally reach out and touch him right now. It's all anybody's talking about, tweeting about, every single Instagram post. Your social media feed is exploding with this news, okay? It's like electricity in the air. You hang on every word that's spoken, okay? I'd imagine that Matthew felt like that. One of the very first sermons that he's ever heard Jesus preach, perhaps. That could be why he recorded it in his gospel. Unlike the other disciples that were mentioned who were fishermen, Matthew's a Jewish tax collector working for the Romans. So brilliant mind, but a social outcast. So here he is now working for one of the greatest teachers in history. Jesus starts off with what we commonly refer to as the Beatitudes. These are the teachings that help point us towards a godly life. So blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. So do we recognize our need and dependence on God? Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Do we mourn our earthly condition and the things that have separated us from God? Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. In our meekness, do we submit to God's will in our life? Blessed are those who hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they will be filled. How passionate are we in our walk with God? Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Are we merciful, forgiving, kind, compassionate in our interactions with others? Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. When we are alone, what is the condition of our heart? Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Have we made peace with God through our acceptance of Jesus Christ? And blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Jesus faced it, and so will we. This is when Jesus turns and addresses Matthew and the other disciples. You can believe Matthew is writing this all down, and he's not necessarily prepared for what he's about to hear. Blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all kinds of evil towards you because of me. Rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven. Imagine trying to take it all in. Matthew's scribbling away as fast as he can because he doesn't want to even miss one word. A pause. Matthew sighs, and he thinks he has time to catch up when Jesus launches into talking about the salt and the light. in the fulfillment of the law, murder, adultery, divorce, making oaths, an eye for an eye, loving your enemies, and giving to the needy. He teaches them about how to pray, about fasting, storing up treasures in heaven. I can just imagine.
What's going on now?